Welcome back to Ancillary Physics 3, Electricity and Electronics. And today we are going to see what is capacitors, some of its important features. Then we will see the expression for capacitance in a parallel plate capacitor. Earlier to that, we will discuss the principles of capacitor. Let's directly go to the lecture. So what we have to discuss today is capacitors. So in electronics, there are devices, components that consumes energy, and there are certain other components that stores energy. Capacitor is one such component which stores energy. Another component is inductor. See, so capacitor is an energy storage element, which means it can store energy. What kind of energy? It can store electrical energy. It consisting of two plates. Capacitor that consisting of two parallel plates. It's like, assume that this is one plate and this one is other plate. The entire system, this composition of two parallel plates, two plates which are put near to each other, this setup is called capacitor. So here this is plate A and this is plate B, and these plates A and B will never touch with each other. They are separated always. These plates are these plates are separated always. It will never touch with each other. These two plates will never touch with each other. Actually, see, this is separated by a medium. This is separated by an medium. That medium is called dielectric medium. Separated by a medium. It is called dielectric. It may be air separation or some solid materials may be placed between this. Here one point is that these plates are usually, they must be conductors. They must be conductors. So these plates, these parallel plates A and B are conductors. Now, if we apply potential between these, if we apply potential between these two plates, then it will be getting, one side is getting positively charged, other side is getting negatively charged, so that a potential will be created between these plates. Potential V will be created when we apply power supply, right? When we apply voltage, external power supply to these two plates, then there will be a potential created between this, that we can denote V, so it will be created. How it is created? In general, these concepts can be understood in the following way. See, earlier we have studied that we are having an isolated, if you are having an isolated conducting material, suppose if we will apply electric field in this direction, what will happen? The free charges within this conducting material will be getting aligned in such a way that positive charges are aligned one side, negative charges are aligned another side, so that suppose if this is the input field, no, let's say the field from outside, outer field, if this is an internal field, now this external outer field is equal to internal field but in opposite direction, so that they are cancel with each other, so that net charge within this conducting material is 0. We said net electric field within this conducting material is 0. So field within this material is 0. Suppose if we have a material which is of dielectric nature, we said just earlier that these two parallel plates are separated by a medium which is essentially a dielectric, that could be air or some solid materials. Let us consider one such solid material. It is said to be dielectric. How would we differentiate a material who is said to be dielectric from a material who is said to be conductor? We can differentiate the following way. See, suppose if we apply an electric field as like in this case to this material, what will happen? Here dielectric materials are essentially insulated, so that there is no free charges here. So charges are very less, so they cannot align entirely. Positive charges are on one side and negative charges on other side. Rather, there is a local alignment would have been possible. That is, within a molecular level, it will align in a way like that. Assume that these are the molecules. Here it will align like this: positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, like this it will align. Here you can see that all the charges are aligned in the left side, while here all positive charges are locally aligned in the left side of individual molecules, while the negative charges are aligned in the right side. It is locally aligned. Hence, the field inside will not equal to the field outside. Here, this happens, both are equal, so that E naught in one direction, En in another direction, so difference becomes 0 in this case. But here E naught one direction which is greater than En in other direction, so that E naught minus E inside, not En, not En, it is En inside. As this value is lower than this value, it is not equal to 0. So these materials and these alignments, How it happens? It happens like this. So essentially the field within the material is not going to be zero. Now if we put an conducting plate like this, so this is a dielectric medium and these are A and B are conducting plates. What would happen? In the molecular level, plus charges will be aligned here, minus charges will be aligned this side. So in that way, what will happen is essentially one side will be accumulated by negative charges, other side will be accumulated with positive charges on the plates. So this is the reason why, because in the inner side the plate, in this case this inner side the plate would have this side it will be positive charges, because inner side all would have negative charges. To counteract for this positive charge, inner side of the plate will have negative charge while the outer side of the plate will have positive charge, right? Here you see there is a negative, so inner side of the plate would have a positive charge, the outer side would have negative charge. So outer side will always, in this case it all negative charges, so that one side positive charge, other side negative charges will be created. So in this way, when it happens, it becomes capable of storing energy in the storing energy. Here energy is nothing but the charges Q, right? If this happens, there is a potential difference created between these two plates. There is a potential difference created between these two plates. When we apply on the full charge, when we apply supply to this capacitor on full charge, now the potential difference between these plates, so potential, there will be a potential difference that will be created between the plates. There will be a potential difference between the plates, which will be, right? Now see, this potential difference will be maximum, right? Which means the accumulated stored charges are high when the area of the plate is high. These charges are high when the area of the plate is high. Another case, these charges are high when the distance between the separation of two plates, that we can term as D. If this distance is small, then the number of charges that can be stored within these two conducting plates will be high, and this charges, essentially we can say Q, these charges Q will be high if the applied voltage is high. Okay, which means the charge Q that is stored within the parallel plates, that is directly proportional to the area, and it is inversely proportional to the distance, and it is directly proportional to the voltage, right? So the amount of charges stored in the parallel plate, these parallel plates, between these parallel plates, that are depending upon the area of the plate and the distance of separation between the two plates, and the third one is applied voltage. And here these charges are directly proportional to area. That means if the area is high, area is larger, then the quantity of charges that can be stored within these plates are high. The distance is shorter, then you can have larger charges. And if you apply more potential, more supply to the plates, then we could able to store more charges. So from this we can deduce an quantity called capacitance. We said the capacitor can store energy, right? This is denoted in the term called capacitance. A capacitor can store energy that can be expressed in terms of capacitance, which is denoted by the letter C. It is positive always, which means it can either store energy or it doesn't have any energy, right? So capacitance can be denoted by C in the letter, and which is always positive. This capacitance can either be some value, that is the plate, between these plates there is a charge accumulated, or if we have short circuited their this side to this side, then it will be neutralized, then there will be no charge. So C can be 0, or C can take some positive value, but it can never take negative value. Fine. Now we can define the equation for this capacitance as, which is equal to Q times Q divided by V. Why? One way we can relate it to that, the charge will be high if the applied voltage is high. If you take the ratio, that will give you the value capacitance. Okay, here the charge that is denoted by the unit coulomb, while the voltage is denoted by the unit volt. You can say that the capacitance in terms of coulomb per volt, or we can denote it by the unit farad. We are discussing about capacitors, and we have deduced the equation for capacitance as C, that is equal to Q by V. This equation unit is farad. I am going to give you some simple idea to remember this equation always. Let us have a pyramid for this equation. If you remember this pyramid, you would never forget this equation. You can draw this equation in the following way. QCV, right? That is question of curriculum vitae. Question of curriculum vitae. QCV. You remember like this. Now, whatever the quantity you want, suppose you want an equation for C. What is remaining? Q divided by V. So if you want to write the equation for C, you can write Q divided by V, that you can write. Suppose if I want Q, what are that? C multiplied by V. Right? Suppose if I want V, so I can write Q divided by C. In that way, whatever the relation you want for capacitors, that you can deduce if you remember this formula triangle with a short form question of, with the quote, question of curriculum vitae. Okay, will it be useful? I hope so. Fine. Now let's have a formal definition for farad. We said farad is an unit for the capacitors. In that case, what is 1 farad? What is 1 farad? See, here capacitance is measured in terms of farad. Now we want the definition for 1 farad. That is capacitance of a capacitor which requires 1 coulomb of, defined as the capacitance of a capacitor which requires 1 coulomb of charge to create a potential difference of 1 volt between the plates, right? In order to see, assume a situation, assume a parallel plate of conductors that constituted a capacitor. In that, there is a situation where it requires 1 coulomb of charge to create 1 volt potential difference between the plates. If this is the case, then for that capacitor, the capacitance is said to be 1 farad. Right? Now, this statement was given by Michael Faraday. You should be very careful about the spelling. Last year, one student has written Michael Friday. Right? I said, if you write again, then it will be your fire day. Right? So, we have to be very careful about the spellings. So, this statement for 1 farad was given by Michael Faraday. So, it is denoted in the name of the scientist who has given the definition. But this value, farad, will be high. It is a high value. Normally, we are not experiencing this much bigger value in our electronic circuits, so that we define some other smaller values. Generally, we have microfarad, picofarad. If you are going for some electronics components, then it will be on microfarad or picofarad. If you are having a ceiling fan in your home, you just open the top, just above the motor, just above the body, there will be a cup. Open it, there you can find a capacitor, there is a cylindrical material will be present which you can locate, that is nothing but capacitor. You try to find out what is the capacitance pointed there. It will be some microfarad. When you are opening an electronic circuits, within that there will be two types of capacitors you could notice. One is like a tablet, other is like a smaller size cylinder type components that you can encounter. Those are capacitors of two different types. One is called a ceramic, that is the tablet type is called a ceramic, while this cylindrical type is said to be polyester type. Now this ceramic or polyester, these categories are based on the dielectric materials which is used to fabricate these capacitors. Well, in all this you could able to notice that the units will be given in microfarad if you are considering the ceiling fan, or picofarad if you are looking for an electronic components, which are lower than the defined value farad. This you can write in terms of farad as 10 to the power minus 6 farad. This you can write 10 to the power minus 12 farad. These are the commonly available, commonly used capacitors in practice. Well, you know, earlier we said this capacitance will be depending upon the area and the distance separating these two plates. We can deduce an equation with that too, right? And we can write an equation for capacitor that is directly proportional to the area and inversely proportional to the distance. And you have to include one more point, that is, if we are having a capacitor, it has a parallel plates, also there is something filled between these plates that we have denoted dielectric materials. For every dielectric material, each material will have a different property. Based on the property of the dielectric material, the amount of charge that can be stored in this capacitor will vary. So we have to incorporate this material property. That material property can be incorporated in the terms of permittivity epsilon. So that you can include here. If the material has higher permittivity, then it could able to store more charges. When the material has the lower permittivity, it has the lower amount of charges can be stored in this. In that way, you can say that C is equal to epsilon AD. See, you can put simply epsilon if the medium is air. If the medium is solid, you can include relative permittivity epsilon or with that. So let us confine this equation with these three terms: permittivity of the dielectric medium, area of the plates, conducting plates, distance of separation. Okay. And again, let me recall, the value of the epsilon is 8.84 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter or Faraday per meter. This constant we have been encountered from the class 1 onwards. Try to remember these constants, which are very important. You know, instead of air, we are having different materials. Let me point out some of the materials and their their value of permittivity. You know that the permittivity of air is equal to the permittivity of vacuum. That is 1.0. Now, if you are considering paper, normal paper, that would have the permittivity 2.5 to 3.5, and if you are having glass, it will have the permittivity 3 to 10. If you are having Mica, it will have the permittivity between 5 to 7. Okay, so it implies that solid materials have higher permittivity than vacuum or air. So if we use some solid materials within this instead of air medium, then we could enhance the amount of charges that we could be able to store. That is the point here. And you see, this material, solid materials which are having higher permittivity, now this is denoted with a parameter called dielectric constant. A parameter called dielectric constant K. Dielectric constant that will give an idea, a quantitative idea about how much this solid material having higher permittivity than the vacuum. So essentially the K is the ratio of the permittivity of the dielectric material solid material to the, it's nothing but the permittivity of the dielectric solid material divided by, so that you can write here, it is small k, permittivity of the vacuum. You can say that K, which is permittivity of the medium, ratio between the permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of the air or vacuum. Right? Fine. This we can denote in other term relative permittivity. Relative permittivity, we can say that epsilon r, which is nothing but the capacitance of the material medium to the capacitance of the air medium, that you can denote it by relative permittivity, which is a constant and it do not have any unit. It is dimensionless. Relative permittivity. So these are the things about the material medium and their permittivity and all. Okay, so you can, if you are asked to write dielectric constant, you need to write, or if you are asked to write relative permittivity, that also you need to explain. Fine. We shall discuss about the principles of a capacitor. Principle of a capacitor. That is, how capacitor works. We will see in a nutshell. Let us say, capacitance of a capacitor increase appreciably when an earth conductor brought near to it. Okay, the capacitance of a capacitor increase appreciably when an earthed conductor brought near to it. This is the basic principle underlying and the capacitance action. But let's see how it happens. Let us consider a capacitor. Let us consider a conducting plate. A is a conducting plate, and this conducting plate A, which is charged now, assume that it has positive charges. This plate has positively charged. Now suppose if we bring another conductor B, it's a plate, it has a thickness something like this, and this plate is brought near to plate A, and this plate is also charged. What will happen? Not charged, it's a conducting plate. What will happen? There are free charges here and there like this. All these charges will align in such a way that the inner part of the plate, that is in this plate, the face which is facing the plate A, that will have negative charges, while the face which is not facing the plate A, that is the opposite side, that will be aligned with positively charged. Okay, and this is what we have told already. If this happens, then there will be a potential difference created between these two plates. Now you see the potential at A. The potential at A will be decreased considerable amount because of this negative charges in the plate B, due to negative charge, and V at A will be increased due to the positive charges present. But these positive charges present in B, which are located in the further distance from the plate A when compared with the negative charges, because negative charges are present in the face that is facing the plate A, right? Negative charges are present in the face which are facing the plate A, while the positive charges are in the opposite face. So that which one is dominating? The negative charges are dominating, so that the potential after placing the plate B will be lesser than that of the potential initially present in the plate A when there is no plate B is placed here. So that even though this plus will contribute for the increase of potential, but the net effect will be decrement in the potential. In this situation, if this side is grounded, all these will vanish. So it will further decrease the potential present in the plate A. Right? Now you can write the equation for capacitance, which is nothing but this you can write C equal to Q by V. Now this V is decreasing means what happens? The amount of charge stored in this capacitor will be increased. When the V decreases, Q will increase, right? So that the capacitance of a capacitor increase appreciably when an earthed conductor brought near to it, right? That is, you see, if V decreases, then the ratio between Q and V will be higher, so that C will be higher. So this is a very simple principle of capacitor. This lecture, we have seen the basics of capacitors. We have defined what is Farad. We have defined the equation for capacitance, and we have discussed about the role of permittivity, relative permittivity, and several other terms like dielectric constant, etc. So with this, let us conclude this lecture, and we will resume back in the next lecture. Thank you.